Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Basil Rathbone inviting you to join me beyond the green door. John Mosley was bent on the pursuit and capture of a man who had wronged him. Little did Mosley realize that the chase would lead them both beyond the green door. Mosley disliked Schneiderman. The German's surly arrogance and swaggering way got under his skin, and he knew him for a bully and a thief. So it was that when Mosley returned to his store late one afternoon to find his Bantu assistant beaten to death, the cash box gone and Schneiderman with it, that he set out in pursuit. The German's trail led south into Great Bushman land, and Mosley quickly decided that Schneiderman was heading straight for Cape Town. If he ever got on a boat, he'd never catch up with him. The trail was not hard to follow, however. Schneiderman was an unusual figure of a man, a giant with a huge florid face, beady eyes, and a livid dueling scar tracing down the curve of his jaw to the point of his chin. Natives who saw him remembered him. On the second day out, Mosley found the remains of a freshly killed bushbuck, carved up as no native would carve it. Schneiderman, no doubt of it. Mosley and his bearers pushed on in the direction of the Orange River into Great Bushman land. This was dangerous country. The few bushmen he had come into contact with were small but cunning and highly skilled with bow and arrow. They coated their arrows with a gummy poisonous compound which could kill even a rhino within a few hours. The entrails of a deadly caterpillar were the main ingredients of the poison. And yet, even the knowledge that he might be walking straight into the lion's mouth failed to slow Mosley. Hour after hour, the vision of Schneiderman's scarred face rose up before him. On the morning of the third day, Mosley lost the German's trail and was unable to find it until the late afternoon. It was nearly sundown when he heard the loud chant of voices in the distance, and moving forward alone under cover of dense foliage, came to the edge of a clearing. Climbing a tree, he peered through the branches and saw a number of small beehive huts. Before them a crowd of natives were gathered shouting loudly. Drums were beating in a rhythmic frenzy, and directly in front of the crowd, a game was begun. A dozen young men came racing out and began kicking a football about. Their absurd movements brought a smile to Mosley's face as they kicked the ball back and forth to no apparent purpose. There were no teams, no goals, no referee, and yet they pursued the ball and kicked it as if it were a championship soccer match. Unable to control himself, Mosley began roaring with laughter. But even as he did so, his foot slipped and he fell down into the clearing. Mercifully, he was unhurt, but as he sat up, the ball came rolling towards him. Then, for the first time, he noticed that although it was round, it wasn't a ball, but a mutilated human head with a telltale scar tracing down the curve of the jaw.